I'm Brad Feld, a partner at Foundry Group, the venture capital firm in Boulder, Colorado. If you go back to the industrial era, everything ran in a hierarchy. Businesses had a boss and people worked for the boss, and you worked your way up the hierarchy. As we evolved from industrial society to information society, we started to see some changes. In entrepreneurship, especially at the very early stages, there is no hierarchy. If the hierarchy tries to drive the startup community, it essentially stifles it. The hierarchy is really collapsing, and many more aspects of what we do are behaving as a network. This was the starting point for thinking about how startup communities evolve. What I came to was a thesis that I call the Boulder thesis that has 4 parts, and those 4 parts are essential for a sustainable, vibrant startup community anywhere in the world. First, it has to be led by entrepreneurs. I define the universe into 2 categories of people, leaders and feeders. The leaders in this context are entrepreneurs, and the feeders are everyone else that participates in the startup community. University, government, venture capital investors, angel investors, service providers, lawyers, accountants, etc. The feeders have very important roles. They become part of the fabric of the startup community, but the feeders can't be leaders. The leaders have to be entrepreneurs. Second is entrepreneurs have to take a very long-term view. It's a generational view, 20 plus years. It's people who are making a long-term commitment to invest heavily in the development of their startup community. The right cliche is that you're running a marathon, not a sprint. In a startup community, over a long period of time, you're going to have some extraordinary successes, as well as some really huge failures. When somebody's incredibly successful, that person is still part of that startup community. When somebody's a failure, have a wake, move on, reincorporate them into other things. You're essentially saying it's okay. It's just part of the process. Third is you have to have a philosophy of inclusiveness. It's not just other entrepreneurs, but anybody who's interested in being part of this startup ecosystem. If everybody contributes energy into the startup community, it'll get bigger and grow faster and be more successful and be more fun. And the fourth is you have to have activities and events that engage the entire entrepreneurial stack. Those activities and events need to be more substantive than an award dinner or a cocktail party. They have to be things like an accelerator program like Techstars that engages the entire community in helping a set of startups get going. Or something like Startup Weekend that's essentially a simulation of entrepreneurship. So those 4 pieces are essential for the long-term health of a startup community. It's just this sort of network chaos of entrepreneurs doing what entrepreneurs do, which is create things. That force of the entrepreneurs to build something bigger than just themselves and their company is so incredibly powerful.